You're listening to the Lone Star Gridiron Sports Network.
The Calallen Wildcats weekly press conference is brought to you by the Calallen Touchdown Booster Club. The Touchdown Booster Club exists to support and promote the Calallen High School football program by uniting students, parents, coaches, and the community.
All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Coach Charlie Reeve to the show. Coach, how are things today?
It's good. It's good. We just got out to practice and getting ready for another big game this Friday.
I love it. Well, let's talk about your big game last week. Gregory Portland, you know, on the box score, 42-40, you're thinking, wow, this was nip and tuck the whole way. But it was it kind of shifted. Talk about the flow of that game.
It did. You know, there was a lot of back and forth, and we started out, I thought our kids were ready to play, and it was kind of back and forth the first quarter, and then we were able to kind of get a lead, going into halftime, and then third quarter, our goal in every game is to score on each drive of the opening half. We did that with our first drive in the first half, and then we got the ball in the second half and took it down and scored. And they're a good team. And obviously, Coach Davis and his staff do a really good job. And those guys, didn't lay down, and they kept battling. And we had a chance to put it away late in their red zone, and ended up fumbling the football and gave them a chance to get back in it. So, one thing we talked about, going into the game, it was going to be a 4-quarter battle, and it ended up, being that. But extremely proud of our kids and our coaches, and it was a big win for us. Obviously, beating GP, but also just, being 1-0, and that's the first goal. But it was good to see, our kids and all the hard work that they put in up to this point pay off.
I love that. And I always tell people, look, for a team to do well, they've got to be tested. Sometimes right up to the edge, or in pre-district, you can even lose, but you have to be tested. What kind of test was this for the kids?
Oh, it was a great test. I mean, obviously, like I said, GP is a really good football team. And, we didn't play perfect. It wasn't, we're not a finished product by any means. There's a lot of things that we still got to clean up and get better on. But, our kids found a way to win. And at the end of the day, we talked about, we don't care if we win 3-2 or if it's 98-97, as long as we've got one more point than our opponent. But, our kids found a way to win. And even when the pressure was back on us at the end, and, they had to go for 2 to tie it up, and we ended up coming up with a big stop on a 2-point conversion, and then they come back and kick the onside, and we recover it. And so we were tested in a lot of phases of the game, and one thing that we talk a lot about is mental toughness is how you handle adversity, and when something bad happens, and you got to put it behind you and have a next play mentality. So there was a lot of stuff that is going to make us, a lot better team going through a game like that.
Definitely. And, a lot of talk around the state is the Rigdon kid who moves up from 6-man, has a stellar game at Columbus. But talk about Ricardo Rodriguez. He put up 243 yards. That was a huge day.
Yeah, he did. He played really, really well. And, to do that, obviously he made some great runs, but to do that, you gotta have those 5 guys up front. And to me, one of our biggest weapons offensively is our offensive line. Yeah. And I thought our goal was to be the more physical team and establish a line of scrimmage, and I thought we did that. And those guys, they came off the ball and played on their side of the line of scrimmage all night, and was able to open up a lot of holes for all of our backs. But obviously Ricky had a great game, and it was good to see, all the hard work that he's put in pay off. And then too is just, we're gonna ask a lot of guys to contribute. We've got guys playing both ways, and so We've got to have a lot of guys that step up and contribute, and he obviously did that Friday night.
Excellent. And talk about some of those linemen, because, you and I know it begins and ends with the line, but a lot of the kids don't get their names mentioned very often. So pull some of them out.
Yeah, well, starting left to right, our left tackle is Brady Buchanan. He's got a brother that's playing at Tech right now, and I think he's got a chance to play at the next level as well. Left guard, Daniel Leal. Center, Richard Rubio. Our right guard, Patrick Davis. And we actually had two tackles that kind of rotated because one of them plays defense, Lane Rogers, and then Jeremiah Rodriguez. But, we try to put, their name doesn't always get mentioned in the paper, but, around here we try to put those guys up on a pedestal because, like you said, without them, nobody else can do their jobs.
That's true. And you mentioned earlier the coaches. Those are guys who also don't get mentioned a lot. Pull out some of the coaches and the adjustments they had to make this result. Sure.
Well, first, talking about the offensive line and offense coordinator, offensive line coach, Johnny Urban. Obviously he's had a lot of success and came from Tyler Chapel Hill, and he's done a great job with that group. And, Coach Force for our defense coordinator. And, they, GP to me, as far as offensively, they're one of the better teams that I think that we'll see, and they've got a lot of weapons, and they're really good up front. And I think he did a good job as far as just, managing the game but all of our staff, I was happy for them because, it's been a grind since we've gotten here. We've hadn't had a whole lot of time off and we put in a lot of work in a short amount of time. So, really proud of our whole staff.
Excellent. And let's shift gears to this week. You've got Alice, a really good program. What can the fans expect to see Alice do?
Well, they're, like you said, they're really, really good. They're physical up front on both sides. They got a really good quarterback coming back. I think they've got 3 running backs that are really good players. And one of them plays both ways. He's a big kid and he runs you over. He's a really physical kid, and we've got to do a great job of stopping the run and getting hats to the football and tackling when we get there. Defensively, same thing. They fly around. I think they're well coached and sound in what they do. So it's going to be a great challenge. Alice is always a really tough place to play. And, just like this last Friday, it'll be a great atmosphere, and our kids are looking forward to playing.
Excellent. What about offensively, defensively? What will they line up in, and how will y'all have to adjust your game plan?
Well, the last 3 weeks, including our 2 scrimmages, we've seen, pretty much all spread teams. GP and even Veterans Memorial, played a little bit of H-back or tight end, but these guys, they're a lot like us offensively in that they're multiple and personnels and formations, and I think they do a good job as far as trying to scheme you up. So the main thing on defense is we got to get lined up right and see our keys and get to the football. Offensively or defensively, like I said, they do a good job of stopping the run and packing the box, and they give you some different looks in the back end. So, like I said, I think they're really well coached. The kids play really, really hard. And so it's going to be a big challenge for us.
I love it. And, Coach Gus, I want to thank you for sitting down with me again, and congratulations not only on being 1-0 on the season, but 1-0 as a Calallen head coach. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, we're glad to be 1-0, and I'm happy for the kids and our coaches and this community, and I know that that was a big game, and they're all big games around here, but happy for them and just all the hard work that we put in up to this point.
Sounds good, and best of luck this week. Hopefully we'll be talking 2-0 next week.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Did you play Texas high school football? If you did, you're part of an elite group, the Brotherhood of Texas High School Football. All football players, past and present, who have ever suited up in the Lone Star State are eligible. Go to LoneStarGridiron.com/brotherhood. And thank you for the part you played in the greatest sport in the greatest state.